When I was a kid, there was a t-shirt shop in the town adjacent to the military base upon which I lived. It provided t-shirts with different kinds of logos on them. A lot of times it was the logos of different units of the military. But then there were a couple that were just sort of lighthearted. I guess they were kind of jokes that you kind of understood if that's where you came from. And one of them had a picture, and it said, "And on the 8th day, God created the Marines, and then the gates of hell opened up." This was this logo you could get on a t-shirt you could wear. If you're a Marine, it makes sense, or if you come from the Marine Corps, it makes sense. You understand. It's one of those things that if you're bad, you get hell. But at the same time, if you gotta go through hell for some reason, because you've been kidnapped, because somebody conquered your community, who do you want to go through it with? This is the thing. You want to brand me as the beast? You want to say I'm your daughter of sin? You want to make me the whore on the head of the red dragon? I mean, I don't really know what you were expecting. You should have known better. You really should have stopped until you got to the point where you so slandered me and my people that you literally ended up branding me with the same mark as you did my father. See, I never enlisted in the military for very specific reasons. I would not take an order to kill somebody from the head of the chain of command. I would never have taken an order from President Bill Clinton. I would never have taken an order from President George Bush. I would never have taken an order from President Barack Obama. And I would never have taken an order from President Donald Trump. They were not fit to be the commander-in-chief. And I knew that before at least 3 of them were elected. This isn't just a matter of having a different political preference. The President of the United States is in charge of the nuclear arsenal. The President of the United States is the head of the armed forces. If you're in the military, you prepare yourself to accept that if necessary, you can be given an order to kill, and you need to execute it unquestioningly because other people's lives depend upon you following orders. And if the commander-in-chief is corrupt and incompetent, then you have a military that's corrupt and incompetent. And if you have a Senate and a Congress that refuses to check the corruption of the president, then you also still have a military that is corrupted. Nobody is qualified to give the order to kill then. And that's why I never went in the military. Now, if you try to hustle me around as some sidecar retirement account for corrupt politicians or for alleged members of the military that took orders from those corrupt heads of state, I have a right to defend myself by all means necessary. And I have chosen for a long period of time to attempt to go through various civil society processes. I have sought redress in what I understood to be an ethical and hopefully effective manner, despite the slander and the complete unwillingness of somebody that believes they're entitled to abuse their power over me to acknowledge. Unfortunately, we have gotten to a point at this time where until there is restitution for the egregious acts of internal corruption, there's no legitimacy It isn't that I wish to see the government disbanded. It was infiltrated by traitors that have undermined the American people to the point where it is understood we are supposed to cede to a plan that has at its core the interest of compelling us to serve in a position of effective slavery to other people that have no loyalty to the national cause. And in the case of the United States, the national cause understands that there are certain rights that are inviolable. And among them is that we don't do slavery. They made a mistake at the beginning. It was our responsibility to take responsibility for that mistake and see to it never happened again under any guise or any charlatanry. It doesn't matter how good the drugs are. It doesn't matter how big the payoff is. It doesn't matter how much technology you can manipulate to run a screen to try to hide behind. It's unacceptable, and any appearance of it is unacceptable. And if we're at a point where so much of our destiny and our future is supposed to be obligated to a military that's been corrupted at least by 4 consecutive, completely unqualified heads of state, then we have a very significant challenge ahead of us because we cannot justify setting terms with any other country until we address our failure to enforce terms in our own.